Aaliyah moves swiftly between tables in the crowded diner, her smile genuine and effortless despite the rush of orders piling up. Known among regulars for her warmth and quick wit, she is a familiar presence in this small corner of the city, a beacon of kindness in the hectic, noisy environment. The diner's clatter of dishes, sizzling sounds from the grill, and constant chatter form the soundtrack of her daily life. Each day, she carries out her tasks with determination, balancing trays laden with coffee and plates of food, all while listening attentively to customers' stories and complaints. Her work is exhausting, but Aaliyah meets every challenge with a quiet resilience born from years of hardship. Financial struggles weigh heavily on her, yet she never lets them dampen her spirit or the friendliness she offers to those around her. Beneath her cheerful exterior lies a woman who dreams of something more, a life beyond the paycheck-to-paycheck existence, a future where she is free from worry and limitations. These hopes are fragile but persistent, woven through the rhythm of her daily routine like a secret thread. Aaliyah's past is a shadow she keeps closely guarded, symbolized by a tattoo hidden beneath the sleeve of her shirt. The design is personal and meaningful, a reminder of experiences she rarely shares and a chapter of her life she's determined to leave behind. This tattoo is a secret she protects fiercely, aware of the judgments and misunderstandings it could provoke if revealed. It is a part of her identity that contrasts with the hopeful vision she carries for her future, a silent testament to struggles she has endured. The morning unfolds with its usual mixture of order takers, hurried customers, and the occasional difficult patron. Aaliyah handles each interaction with professionalism and care, her reputation as one of the diner's best waitresses well earned. Her ability to connect with people, to make them feel seen and heard even in a transient setting, sets her apart. She moves with practiced ease, navigating the cramped aisles, always alert and responsive to the needs around her. Then the atmosphere shifts. The bell above the diner's door jingles sharply, drawing the attention of everyone inside. Derek enters, a wealthy, confident man whose presence commands the room in a way that unsettles rather than comforts. His expensive suit, sharp features, and arrogant demeanor set him apart immediately. He scans the room with a condescending glance, his entitlement palpable as he settles into a booth near the window. The diner's usual rhythm falters slightly under his scrutiny. Derek's arrival marks the beginning of tension. His interactions with the staff, especially Aaliyah, are tinged with impatience and superiority. He demands attention and exceptional service, dismissing the efforts of those who serve him with little regard. Aaliyah meets his behavior with quiet professionalism, refusing to let his arrogance provoke her or disrupt her composure. Yet beneath her calm exterior, a flicker of unease grows. The confrontation escalates as Derek's impatience turns into frustration. Words are exchanged, brief, charged, and sharp. Aaliyah stands her ground, her voice steady even as the crowd grows uneasy. The other diners watch, sensing the brewing storm but unsure how it will break. The tension thickens, the air charged with anticipation. Suddenly, in a moment of uncontrollable rage, Derek lashes out. His hand reaches toward Aaliyah, grabbing her shirt and ripping it off, exposing the tattoo she has so carefully concealed. The diner falls into stunned silence as the secret she has guarded is laid bare for all to see. The shock ripples through the room, whispers spread quickly, eyes fixed on the exposed mark that tells a story far deeper than the surface reveals. Aaliyah stands frozen for a heartbeat, the vulnerability of exposure crashing down around her. The weight of the moment presses in, yet beneath it simmers a complex mix of emotions: shame, defiance, fear, and an unspoken strength. The confrontation has shattered the fragile normalcy of her day, thrusting her past into the harsh light of public scrutiny. The chapter closes on this raw, powerful moment, leaving the diner and Aaliyah's life forever changed by what has been revealed. Aaliyah's shock at having her private tattoo inadvertently exposed is profound and deeply unsettling. The tattoo, a carefully concealed symbol intimately tied to her family's legacy and personal history, was never meant for public eyes. Its sudden unveiling in a crowded dining setting throws her into a whirlwind of embarrassment and vulnerability. This private mark, which represents years of struggle and resilience embedded in her family's past, becomes an unintentional catalyst for gossip and speculation among those around her. The tattoo's significance adds a layer of complexity to Aaliyah's emotional turmoil. It is not merely an artistic expression but a deeply personal emblem of identity, sacrifice, and survival. This revelation transforms what might have been a simple moment of exposure into a charged episode laden with cultural and emotional weight. Those who glimpse the tattoo begin to whisper, their curiosity sparked by the visible but unexplained mark. The dining environment, once a neutral space of social interaction, shifts into a venue of quiet judgment and hushed conversations. Aaliyah becomes the focus of these subtle but pointed observations, compounding her feelings of humiliation. Amidst this atmosphere, Derek's response intensifies the tension. His outrage is palpable and public, escalating the situation beyond mere whispers. Derek's reaction likely stems from protective instincts, frustration, or even embarrassment on Aaliyah's behalf. His escalating anger, however, does not alleviate Aaliyah's discomfort but rather heightens it, drawing even more attention to the tattoo and the circumstances surrounding its revelation. Derek's vocal disapproval turns the incident into a spectacle, making Aaliyah acutely aware of the gaze of others and the fragile balance between private pain and public scrutiny. Confronted with this maelstrom of emotions and social pressures, Aaliyah is forced into a difficult position. She must navigate the complex interplay between fighting back against the intrusion and preserving her own dignity in a vulnerable moment. The struggle is not simply about defending herself or the tattoo's significance, it is about managing the fallout in a way that maintains her sense of self-respect amid unwanted exposure. This internal conflict reveals the layers of resilience and caution that define her character. Her hesitation and struggle to find a response underscore the deeply personal nature of the incident. On one hand, there is a desire to assert control, to confront the situation head-on and reclaim her narrative. On the other, there is an equally strong impulse to shield herself from further harm by remaining composed and avoiding escalation. This tension between assertiveness and self-preservation highlights the emotional complexity of being involuntarily thrust into the spotlight for something so intimately tied to her identity. As whispers continue to ripple through the dining area, the social dynamics subtly shift. Aaliyah's exposure affects not only her own experience but also the perceptions of those around her. The tattoo becomes a symbol not just of personal history but of how past struggles can unexpectedly surface in public settings, challenging social boundaries and personal privacy. It acts as a reminder that certain aspects of identity, though hidden, carry a powerful presence that can reshape interactions and influence social atmospheres. The episode also reflects broader themes of vulnerability and control. Aaliyah's tattoo, once a secret emblem of strength and survival, now represents a vulnerability laid bare. The involuntary disclosure challenges her ability to control how others perceive her, forcing her to grapple with the loss of agency over a deeply personal part of herself. This loss resonates on both a personal and symbolic level, illustrating how private histories can be disrupted by external forces beyond one's control. Moreover, the incident underscores the impact of social environments on personal identity. In a setting where people gather to share meals and conversation, the sudden shift to gossip and judgment reveals how quickly social dynamics can change. The diner's curiosity and whispered speculations transform the atmosphere, turning a communal space into one charged with unspoken tension. This shift highlights the precariousness of maintaining privacy and dignity within public spaces, especially when intimate details become exposed. Throughout this ordeal, Aaliyah's internal dialogue likely oscillates between feelings of shame, anger, and determination. The emotional complexity of her response demonstrates the multifaceted nature of human reactions to unexpected vulnerability. Her struggle to balance the urge to defend herself with the need to protect her dignity reflects a universal challenge faced when private matters become public. The mounting tension also suggests potential shifts in Aaliyah's relationships with those present. Derek's visible outrage may cause friction or solidarity, depending on how Aaliyah perceives his reaction and how others interpret their dynamic. The social repercussions of the tattoo's exposure could ripple outward, affecting interpersonal connections and Aaliyah's standing within the group. Ultimately, the incident becomes a crucible for Aaliyah's emotional resilience. It forces her to confront the uncomfortable reality of having her private history laid bare and to consider how she will navigate the complex social landscape that now surrounds her. The episode encapsulates a moment of reckoning where personal identity, social perception, and emotional strength intersect. The quiet yet pervasive whispers among the diners serve as a backdrop to Aaliyah's internal battle, symbolizing the often invisible but powerful forces that shape individual experiences in communal settings. This dynamic illustrates how moments of unintended exposure can ripple through social contexts, influencing not only the individual but also the collective atmosphere. In essence, Aaliyah's experience is a poignant exploration of vulnerability and dignity in the face of unanticipated revelation. Her journey through shock, embarrassment, and rising tension highlights the intricate balance between personal history and public perception. The tattoo, a symbol of her family's legacy and struggles, becomes a focal point for this exploration, embodying the complexities of identity and the challenges of navigating social scrutiny. Through this lens, the episode sheds light on the broader human experience of grappling with how much of ourselves we reveal to the world and how much we strive to keep hidden. It emphasizes the courage required to face exposure with grace and the resilience needed to protect one's dignity when privacy is compromised. The delicate dance between fighting back and maintaining composure reflects a deeply human struggle to assert control over one's narrative amid external pressures. This moment in Aaliyah's life is thus both deeply personal and universally resonant, illustrating how a single incident can unsettle the balance between private and public selves, challenging one's sense of security and prompting a re-evaluation of how identity is negotiated in social spaces. Derek's growing influence casts a dark shadow over Aaliyah's job and reputation at the diner. Leveraging his power and connections, Derek sets out to intimidate not only the management but also the staff, creating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. His tactics are subtle but effective, veiled threats, rumors, and behind-the-scenes pressure that leave the diner's leadership hesitant and unsettled. The management, caught between appeasing Derek and protecting their employees, finds itself in a difficult position, increasingly unsure of how to handle the escalating tension. Staff members, too, feel the strain. Many are unsettled by Derek's presence and his ability to disrupt the usual order of things. Some start to avoid Aaliyah, worried about the potential fallout or reluctant to get involved in what seems to be a growing conflict. Others, however, stand firm in their support, unwilling to let intimidation dictate their workplace. This division among the staff adds complexity to the environment, with loyalty and fear pulling people in different directions. The customers of the diner react in varied and revealing ways, reflecting the social tension surrounding Aaliyah's situation. Some customers express sympathy and solidarity, offering words of encouragement or simply showing their support through quiet gestures. Their reactions signal a recognition of the unfairness of Derek's behavior and an appreciation for Aaliyah's courage. In contrast, other patrons respond with hostility, whether out of discomfort, alignment with Derek's influence, or reluctance to confront the brewing conflict. These contrasting reactions from the public eye add a layer of social pressure and amplify the stakes of the confrontation. Throughout this turmoil, Aaliyah's friends and co-workers emerge as her primary source of strength. They rally behind her, offering emotional support, practical help, and a sense of solidarity that helps counterbalance the negativity spreading through the diner. Their support reinforces Aaliyah's resolve, reminding her that she is not alone and that standing up to Derek is a shared challenge. This network of allies creates a micro-community within the diner, united by a common commitment to fairness and respect. Amid the mounting pressure, Aaliyah begins to reflect deeply on the tattoo that has become the focal point of the conflict. What once seemed like a simple mark on her skin reveals itself to be much more, a symbol carrying a personal story and significance that resonates beyond appearances. This realization transforms the tattoo from a mere aesthetic choice into a powerful emblem of identity, history, and perhaps even resistance. Aaliyah's understanding of the tattoo's meaning grows, and with it, her determination to protect what it represents. The tattoo's story, hinted at through subtle reflections and conversations, suggests connections to Aaliyah's past and values. It embodies experiences that have shaped her and acts as a silent testament to resilience and personal truth. As she embraces this deeper meaning, Aaliyah finds new courage to face the challenges posed by Derek's intimidation and the uncertainty surrounding her future at the diner. Deciding to stand her ground despite the risks marks a turning point in Aaliyah's journey. This decision is not made lightly, it reflects a careful weighing of potential consequences and the recognition that yielding would mean compromising her integrity and sense of self. By choosing resistance, Aaliyah asserts her right to exist authentically and refuses to be bullied into submission. Her stance challenges not only Derek's power but also the broader social dynamics that enable such intimidation. The mounting conflict serves as a backdrop to explore themes of power, identity, and community. Derek's use of influence highlights how social hierarchies and fear can be weaponized to marginalize and control. Meanwhile, Aaliyah's response embodies the struggle to reclaim agency and assert dignity in the face of oppression. The varied reactions of customers and co-workers illustrate how communities respond differently to conflict, reflecting broader social attitudes and tensions. Throughout this tense period, the diner itself becomes more than a workplace, it transforms into a battleground for principles and personal courage. The daily routines and interactions take on heightened significance as each choice, each gesture, and each conversation contribute to the unfolding drama. The diner's physical and social space mirrors the conflict, serving as a stage where individual stories intersect with larger societal forces. As pressure intensifies, Aaliyah's inner strength is tested repeatedly. She confronts moments of doubt and fear but finds motivation in the support around her and the meaning she attaches to her tattoo. This inner resilience underpins her ability to resist Derek's intimidation and signals her growth as a character. Her journey becomes emblematic of standing up against bullying and injustice in everyday settings. The solidarity of her friends and co-workers not only provides immediate support but also suggests the potential for collective resistance. Their unity demonstrates how personal courage can inspire and mobilize others, creating ripples of change within a community. This dynamic underscores the importance of connection and mutual aid in confronting adversity. In deciding to face the situation head-on, Aaliyah embraces the possibility of conflict and loss. She understands that standing firm may jeopardize her job and reputation, but she chooses authenticity over safety. This choice elevates her from a passive victim to an active agent in her story, transforming the narrative from one of victimhood to empowerment. The chapter carefully balances the external pressures with Aaliyah's internal journey, portraying a nuanced portrait of resilience. It highlights how symbols like the tattoo carry layered meanings that can empower individuals and challenge social norms. The tattoo becomes a metaphor for hidden stories and personal histories that demand recognition and respect. Meanwhile, Derek's character embodies the darker aspects of social power, the ways influence can be misused to manipulate and suppress. His actions reveal how intimidation tactics function to silence dissent and enforce conformity. The conflict between Derek and Aaliyah thus symbolizes a broader struggle between oppression and resistance. The diner staff's varying reactions provide insight into the complexity of social dynamics in places where diverse individuals interact. Fear, loyalty, solidarity, and self-interest all play roles in shaping behavior, reflecting the multifaceted nature of human relationships in tense situations. This complexity adds realism and depth to the narrative. The chapter's tension builds steadily, with each event and reaction increasing the stakes. The mounting pressure forces Aaliyah to clarify her values and priorities, pushing her toward a decisive stance. This progression creates a compelling narrative arc that keeps the reader engaged with both character and plot. In sum, the escalating conflict surrounding Derek's influence and Aaliyah's determination to stand firm highlights the challenges faced by individuals confronting power imbalances in everyday environments. Through nuanced character interactions and layered symbolism, the chapter explores themes of courage, identity, and community resilience, setting the stage for further developments and deeper exploration of these issues. Aaliyah's tattoo, a striking and intricate design, had long been a subject of curiosity and speculation. For many, it was merely a piece of art etched on her skin, something beautiful but enigmatic. However, the tattoo held a much deeper meaning, one intimately tied to her family's history, a history marked by resilience in the face of systemic injustice. As the story behind the symbol comes to light, it shifts the narrative surrounding Aaliyah, transforming public perception and stirring a complex emotional response from those around her. The tattoo itself is not just an aesthetic choice, it is a powerful emblem representing her ancestors' struggles and triumphs. It commemorates the endurance of generations who faced oppression, fought for dignity, and refused to be silenced. Embedded within its patterns are references to key moments of resistance and survival, connecting Aaliyah's personal identity to a broader collective memory. This revelation elevates the tattoo from a mere decorative element to a badge of honor, embodying the strength and spirit passed down through her lineage. Once the truth about the tattoo's significance is shared, public opinion begins to shift dramatically. What was once met with indifference or misunderstanding now inspires admiration and empathy. People begin to recognize that Aaliyah's mark is not just a personal statement but a testament to a communal history often overlooked or forgotten. This newfound awareness encourages others to see her through a lens of respect, acknowledging the courage it takes to wear such a story openly on one's skin. In the midst of this transformation, Derek, a figure antagonistic toward Aaliyah, intensifies his efforts to undermine her. His attempts to discredit her and diminish the meaning behind the tattoo are transparent and desperate, fueled by a need to maintain control and dominance in their ongoing conflict. However, Derek's tactics do not have the intended effect. Instead of weakening Aaliyah's position, they further expose his insecurities and motivations, causing his campaign to backfire. As Derek publicly challenges Aaliyah, the conflict moves beyond mere professional rivalry or ideological disagreement, it becomes deeply personal. He targets not only her credibility but also attacks her past, hoping to provoke doubt and vulnerability. This escalation forces Aaliyah to confront aspects of her history that she had kept private, bringing buried emotions and memories to the surface. Rather than retreating, Aaliyah chooses to face this challenge head-on. In doing so, she takes control of her narrative, refusing to let Derek or anyone else define her story for her. By openly addressing her past and the tattoo's significance, Aaliyah reclaims her voice and asserts her identity with renewed strength. This act of courage resonates widely, inspiring others who have faced similar struggles to embrace their histories and stand firm against attempts to silence them. The crisis provoked by Derek's public confrontation becomes a turning point for Aaliyah. It forces her to reconcile with her past, integrate it into her present, and use it as a foundation for her future. This process is not without pain, but it ultimately leads to personal growth and empowerment. Aaliyah's journey illustrates the power of owning one's story, transforming vulnerability into resilience. Throughout this turmoil, the support from those around Aaliyah grows. Allies rally behind her, recognizing both the injustice of Derek's attacks and the importance of honoring individual histories in shaping collective identity. This solidarity further amplifies the positive shift in public perception, creating a ripple effect that challenges prevailing narratives about heritage, struggle, and strength. The revelation about the tattoo also sparks broader conversations about the importance of acknowledging and respecting diverse histories. It highlights how symbols, when understood in their full context, can bridge gaps in understanding and foster empathy across different communities. Aaliyah's story becomes a catalyst for dialogue about resilience, justice, and the ways in which personal and collective pasts shape who we are. Derek's efforts to discredit Aaliyah not only fail but also expose the limits of divisive tactics rooted in fear and prejudice. His downfall in this conflict underscores the strength found in authenticity and truth. Aaliyah's ability to confront her past openly and confidently sends a powerful message about the importance of self-acceptance and integrity. In the wake of these events, Aaliyah emerges more visible and empowered than ever before. She no longer hides the layers of her identity but embraces them fully, allowing her tattoo and its story to serve as a source of pride and inspiration. This openness helps to dismantle stigma and encourages others to share their own stories without shame. The chapter thus captures a profound moment of transformation not only for Aaliyah but for those who witness her courage. It highlights the enduring impact of personal history on present realities and the ways in which confronting past pain can lead to healing and empowerment. The conflict with Derek, while challenging, ultimately propels Aaliyah toward greater self-definition and public recognition. Through her journey, readers are reminded of the power of symbols as carriers of memory and meaning. The tattoo's story exemplifies how art, history, and identity intertwine to create narratives that resonate deeply and foster connection. It also emphasizes the importance of standing firm in the face of opposition, using truth as a shield against attacks designed to undermine and divide. This narrative arc underscores themes of resilience, justice, and reclamation of voice. Aaliyah's experience serves as a testament to the strength found in embracing one's full history, no matter how painful or complicated. It also illustrates the potential for personal stories to influence broader cultural conversations, challenging stereotypes and inspiring empathy. As the public witnesses Aaliyah's confrontation with Derek and her subsequent empowerment, they are invited to reconsider their own perceptions about history, identity, and justice. The tattoo, once a mystery, becomes a symbol of courage that transcends individual experience and speaks to universal themes of struggle and perseverance. The chapter closes with a sense of hope and possibility, rooted in the recognition that confronting the past openly can lead to healing and transformation. Aaliyah's choice to reclaim her narrative is a powerful affirmation of self-worth and resilience, setting the stage for ongoing growth and change in her life and the community around her. Aaliyah finds herself deeply affected by the emotional fallout following the confrontation. The event leaves her grappling with a profound sense of vulnerability that permeates both her personal and public life. The intensity of the situation forces her to confront feelings she had previously managed to keep at bay, including fear, uncertainty, and the overwhelming burden of being thrust into the spotlight. These emotions create an internal struggle, as Aaliyah wrestles with the realities of exposure and the risks inherent in standing firm for her beliefs. Despite this turmoil, she unexpectedly finds support emerging from various corners of the community and the media. This support offers a measure of comfort and reassurance, revealing that her actions have resonated beyond her immediate circle. The media attention, while daunting, amplifies her voice and allows her message to reach a broader audience. This newfound backing injects a complex mix of hope and responsibility into her experience, as she realizes that her stance has inspired others but also placed her under heightened scrutiny. The diner, once a simple gathering place, transforms into a symbolic battleground where conflicting perspectives collide. Patrons and community members bring with them a wide range of opinions, some sympathetic and others hostile. This environment becomes charged with tension, reflecting the larger societal divisions that Aaliyah's confrontation has brought to the surface. The diner serves as a microcosm of the broader struggle, where conversations, debates, and sometimes confrontations unfold daily. For Aaliyah, it is no longer just a place to eat or find comfort, it is a stage where her resolve is constantly tested. Carrying the weight of representation intensifies Aaliyah's internal conflict. She becomes acutely aware that her actions and words are no longer solely about her personal journey but have taken on a larger symbolic meaning. She embodies the hopes, frustrations, and aspirations of a community seeking recognition and justice. This realization adds pressure, making her question whether she possesses the strength to continue the fight. The responsibility feels immense, as she weighs the possibility of inspiring change against the personal toll it exacts. In moments of quiet reflection, Aaliyah contemplates whether retreating to safety might be the more viable option. The idea of stepping back from the public eye tempts her, offering the promise of peace and protection from the ongoing stress. However, retreat also carries the risk of silencing her voice and abandoning the causes she has begun to champion. This dilemma highlights the tension between self-preservation and the drive to effect meaningful change, a common struggle for those thrust into the roles of advocates or leaders in contentious situations. Aaliyah's journey illustrates the emotional complexity that accompanies public confrontation and activism. Her experience underscores how moments of courage can expose individuals to both support and opposition, forcing them to navigate unpredictable social dynamics. The support she receives bolsters her, yet it also deepens her sense of accountability, as she recognizes the broader implications of her actions. At the same time, the resistance she encounters challenges her resilience and tests her commitment. The evolving atmosphere within the diner mirrors the societal fractures that Aaliyah faces outside its walls. It becomes a physical space where community tensions are played out in real time, reflecting the challenges of dialogue and understanding amid deeply held beliefs. The diner's transformation from a neutral space to a contested one exemplifies how personal stories can ignite wider debates and bring underlying issues to light. Throughout this period, Aaliyah's internal struggle is marked by oscillations between doubt and determination. Her vulnerability is not a sign of weakness but rather an honest response to the pressures she faces. The decision to continue fighting or to seek refuge involves weighing complex factors, including personal well-being, the needs of those she represents, and the potential for meaningful impact. This nuanced emotional landscape captures the reality of those who find themselves at the intersection of personal conviction and public expectation. In facing these challenges, Aaliyah also gains insight into the power of community and media in shaping narratives. The unexpected solidarity she experiences reveals the potential for collective support to sustain individuals during difficult times. At the same time, it highlights how media attention can amplify voices but also increase scrutiny, complicating the experience of advocacy. This duality requires Aaliyah to navigate carefully, balancing openness with caution as she manages her public presence. Ultimately, the chapter explores the costs and complexities of standing up for one's beliefs in a divided environment. Aaliyah's emotional journey embodies the struggle to maintain personal integrity while contending with external pressures and expectations. Her experience reflects broader themes of courage, representation, and the search for balance between fighting for change and protecting oneself. As she continues to navigate this challenging terrain, Aaliyah is forced to redefine her understanding of strength and resilience. She learns that vulnerability does not diminish her capacity to lead but can be an integral part of authentic engagement. Her story emphasizes that the path of advocacy is rarely straightforward, often marked by setbacks, support, doubt, and resolve. This complexity enriches the narrative, offering a realistic portrayal of the emotional landscape faced by those who become voices for their communities. In summary, Aaliyah's emotional aftermath reveals the intricate interplay between personal vulnerability and public responsibility. The confrontation acts as a catalyst, exposing both challenges and sources of strength. Through her experience, the narrative highlights the transformative potential of support, the difficulties of representation, and the enduring question of how to balance the demands of activism with the need for self-care. This exploration adds depth to her character and sets the stage for further development as she grapples with the ongoing consequences of her choices. External pressures weigh heavily on Aaliyah as Derek escalates his campaign against her, turning it from mere personal animosity into a concerted attack involving legal threats and social media harassment. This development transforms the conflict into something more pervasive and dangerous, impacting not only her immediate environment but her public image and personal sense of security. Derek's actions are strategic and relentless, leveraging every possible avenue to undermine Aaliyah's credibility and silence her voice. Legal threats introduce a layer of intimidation that goes beyond verbal abuse or social media vitriol. The prospect of lawsuits looms over Aaliyah, designed to exhaust her emotionally and financially, and to create a climate of fear. These legal maneuvers serve as a weapon not only against her but also as a warning to others who might support her or speak out. The chilling effect of such tactics highlights how power dynamics operate in conflicts of this nature, where one party uses institutional resources and influence to dominate the narrative and suppress opposition. Simultaneously, Derek's use of social media as a platform for attacks amplifies the pressure exponentially. The attacks are often personal, aggressive, and calculated to provoke a reaction. Social media's reach makes it impossible for Aaliyah to find refuge or privacy, turning even ordinary moments into opportunities for harassment. This public dimension to the conflict exacerbates her emotional strain and heightens the stakes of her response. Each post, comment, or message acts as a reminder of the battle she faces, not just against Derek, but against a broader culture that too often condones or amplifies such abuse. Internally, Aaliyah confronts a complex mix of fear, self-doubt, and resilience. The psychological toll of sustained harassment and legal threats challenges her sense of self and shakes her confidence. The chapter reveals how these external assaults infiltrate her inner world, creating moments of vulnerability and uncertainty. Yet, amidst this turmoil, Aaliyah finds strength in her heritage, which is symbolized powerfully by her tattoo. This tattoo serves as a tangible connection to her roots, culture, and the legacy of resilience passed down through generations. It embodies the idea that her struggle is not just personal but part of a larger continuum of endurance and resistance. Seeking counsel becomes an essential part of Aaliyah's process of coping and preparation. She turns to family members and mentors, drawing on their wisdom, experience, and support. These relationships provide her with both practical advice and emotional sustenance, helping to reinforce her resolve. The guidance she receives encourages her to see her situation in a broader context, not as an isolated ordeal but as a challenge that demands courage, strategy, and steadfastness. Mentors, in particular, play a critical role in helping Aaliyah prepare mentally to reclaim her dignity and stand for justice. Their perspectives offer her clarity on the importance of fighting back, not only for herself but for others who might face similar oppression. They help her frame her response not as an act of defiance born from anger alone, but as a deliberate and principled stand rooted in justice and self-respect. Aaliyah's preparation involves more than just external planning, it is a deep internal work of reaffirming her identity and purpose. This mental and emotional readiness becomes crucial as she anticipates the ongoing challenges ahead. She understands that reclaiming her dignity will require resilience and strategic patience, and she commits herself to this path despite the uncertainties and risks. Throughout this period of intense pressure, the chapter emphasizes the duality of Aaliyah's experience, the external battles she must fight and the internal strength she must cultivate. Her journey illustrates the complexity of confronting injustice in a world that often weaponizes power against the vulnerable. The narrative highlights how personal identity, cultural heritage, and community support can become sources of empowerment amidst adversity. In summary, the chapter offers a nuanced exploration of the multifaceted struggle Aaliyah faces. It captures the escalating external threats and harassment as Derek leverages legal and social media tools to attack her, while also portraying her internal battle against fear and doubt. Through the symbolism of her tattoo and the support of family and mentors, Aaliyah gathers the strength and clarity needed to stand firm, reclaim her dignity, and prepare for a fight grounded in justice and resilience. Aaliyah stands at a crossroads, determined to reclaim her voice and challenge the injustice she has endured. Her tattoo, once a private symbol of pain and resilience, becomes a beacon of truth she chooses to share openly. The decision to reveal the story behind it publicly marks a turning point, a deliberate act of courage aimed at exposing the hidden wounds inflicted by Derek's bullying and honoring the strength of her family's legacy. She meticulously plans the event, selecting a community gathering as the ideal platform somewhere familiar, where voices can be heard, and stories can resonate beyond personal circles. The diner, a place of shared memories and daily life, is extended an invitation alongside local media representatives and, provocatively, Derek himself. This inclusion signals Aaliyah's confidence, a refusal to shy away from confrontation. Her strategy is bold. By bringing Derek into the spotlight, she forces the issue into the open, disrupting his attempts to silence or intimidate her. As word spreads, the community begins to rally. Allies emerge, individuals who have witnessed Derek's behavior or who empathize with Aaliyah's plight. Their presence amplifies her message, turning a personal revelation into a collective statement against bullying and injustice. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation, as the event promises to challenge existing power dynamics and offer a voice to those previously unheard. On the day of the gathering, Aaliyah steps onto the stage, her tattoo visible and unapologetic. She speaks with a blend of vulnerability and strength, recounting the pain caused by Derek's actions while highlighting the enduring spirit of her family. Her narrative is both a personal testimony and a broader call for respect and understanding. The audience listens, moved by her honesty and the bravery required to confront such deeply personal wounds in a public forum. Derek's looming presence adds tension to the moment. His reputation as a bully and his history with Aaliyah make the gathering a high-stakes confrontation. His response is anticipated, and the community watches closely, ready to support Aaliyah or to witness the fallout. This dynamic underscores the precariousness of the situation. The event is not only a platform for truth but also a battleground for reputations and power. Allies' support strengthens Aaliyah's position, creating a network of solidarity that counters Derek's attempts to isolate her. Their shared experiences and public backing highlight the widespread impact of bullying, challenging the notion that such behavior is acceptable or inconsequential. This collective stand transforms the event from a personal narrative into a catalyst for change within the community. Throughout the gathering, the stakes remain high. Aaliyah's willingness to expose her vulnerability in such a public way risks backlash, but also opens the door for healing and empowerment. The tattoo, once a hidden mark, becomes a symbol of defiance and hope. Her story invites others to confront their own experiences and consider the importance of standing up against injustice. The event's energy builds toward a decisive moment, a confrontation that promises to alter relationships and power structures. Derek's anticipated counterattack looms, threatening to undermine the progress Aaliyah and her supporters have made. This tension adds urgency and gravity to the gathering, emphasizing the real-world consequences of courage and resistance. In sharing her story publicly, Aaliyah not only reclaims her narrative but also challenges the silence that often surrounds bullying. Her act of openness breaks down barriers, encouraging dialogue and fostering a sense of community resilience. The tattoo, once a private emblem of pain, is transformed into a rallying point for awareness and change. The community event becomes more than a personal milestone, it is a moment of collective reckoning. Through Aaliyah's bravery and the support of her allies, the gathering sparks conversations about respect, empathy, and accountability. It challenges bystanders to reconsider their roles and encourages victims to find strength in solidarity. As the chapter unfolds, the tension between vulnerability and strength, exposure and protection, becomes palpable. Aaliyah's journey encapsulates the complexities of confronting personal trauma in a public space, navigating the risks of backlash while embracing the potential for transformation. Ultimately, the event sets the stage for a showdown that extends beyond individual conflict. It symbolizes a larger struggle against bullying and injustice, a fight for dignity and respect that resonates throughout the community. Aaliyah's story, shared openly and courageously, becomes a catalyst for change, inspiring others to stand up and speak out. The chapter's progression highlights the power of storytelling as resistance. By taking control of her narrative, Aaliyah undermines Derek's attempts to silence her and empowers herself and others to challenge oppressive behaviors. The community's engagement underscores the importance of collective action in addressing social issues and supporting those who face adversity. Through the courageous act of public disclosure, Aaliyah redefines her tattoo's meaning. It shifts from a mark of pain to a symbol of resilience and hope, embodying the strength found in vulnerability and the transformative potential of truth. The event becomes a pivotal moment, not only in her personal journey but in the community's evolving understanding of bullying and empowerment. The chapter concludes with the tension unresolved, the anticipated confrontation looming, leaving readers aware that the consequences of Aaliyah's bravery will unfold in the chapters to come. The stakes are clear, and the battle lines drawn, marking a critical juncture in the narrative's exploration of courage, justice, and the power of standing up for oneself and others. At the community event, the atmosphere is charged with anticipation and emotion as Aaliyah steps forward to address the crowd. Her speech is deeply moving, weaving together themes of identity, resilience, and the unyielding spirit required to confront and overcome oppression. She speaks not just as an individual but as a representative of her community, capturing their struggles and aspirations with clarity and passion. Her words resonate strongly, inspiring those gathered to embrace their own stories and the collective strength they share. Aaliyah's delivery is heartfelt and powerful, marked by a sincerity that commands attention. She articulates the pain and challenges her community has faced, yet balances this with messages of hope and empowerment. Her speech serves as both a call to action and a source of solace, reminding listeners that while oppression seeks to silence and diminish, resilience and unity can forge paths toward justice and dignity. Throughout her address, Aaliyah touches on the importance of embracing one's identity fully, without apology or fear. She emphasizes that true strength lies in authenticity and in standing firm against forces that seek to marginalize or divide. By sharing personal anecdotes and collective experiences, she creates a sense of shared ownership and pride among the attendees. The speech becomes a moment of communal catharsis, where individual stories coalesce into a powerful narrative of resistance and hope. As Aaliyah's voice rises, the crowd responds with growing enthusiasm and solidarity. The energy shifts from solemn reflection to determined resolve. It becomes clear that her message has galvanized the community, forging stronger bonds and a renewed commitment to stand together. Amid this powerful moment, Derek attempts to disrupt the event. His presence is charged with antagonism and a desire to undermine the growing unity and strength embodied by Aaliyah's speech. Derek's intrusion represents the persistent threat of opposition that often confronts movements for justice and equality. However, his efforts to unsettle the gathering are met with firm resistance. The community, including the diner's patrons, stand united against Derek's attempts to derail the event. Their collective response serves as a protective barrier, shielding Aaliyah and reinforcing the values she has articulated. This resistance is not merely physical but symbolic, an assertion that voices like Aaliyah's will not be silenced or intimidated. The confrontation between Derek and the community becomes a pivotal moment, highlighting the clash between oppressive forces and collective empowerment. As Derek's influence begins to wane in the face of widespread opposition, Aaliyah's voice and leadership emerge even stronger. This public reckoning underscores a significant shift in the dynamics of power within the community. Derek's attempts to disrupt fail not only because of physical opposition but also due to the moral and emotional strength galvanized by Aaliyah's speech. The community's resilience and refusal to back down mark a decisive turning point. The event transforms from a simple gathering into a symbol of collective resistance and hope, illustrating how solidarity can challenge and diminish entrenched power. The diner, as a central meeting place, becomes a focal point for this confrontation and the broader themes of the chapter. It represents both the everyday space where community life unfolds and the battleground for larger social struggles. The patrons' active support for Aaliyah highlights the interconnectedness of personal and political realms, showing how local actions contribute to broader movements for change. Throughout the event, the narrative emphasizes the power of voice and presence in challenging oppression. Aaliyah's speech and the community's response illustrate how individuals, when united, can reclaim agency and reshape the conditions of their lives. The chapter also explores the ways in which resistance can take many forms, from spoken word to collective physical defense, each reinforcing the other. This moment of confrontation and solidarity sets the stage for ongoing efforts to confront injustice. It demonstrates that while opposition like Derek's may persist, it is vulnerable when faced with a united community whose members are empowered to speak and stand up together. The chapter thus highlights both the challenges and possibilities inherent in struggles for social justice. Ultimately, the chapter celebrates the rising of voices previously marginalized or silenced. It affirms the importance of community, courage, and unwavering commitment in the face of adversity. The public reckoning not only diminishes Derek's sway but also elevates Aaliyah's role as a leader and beacon of hope. Through this powerful event, the narrative captures a moment of transformation, a testament to the enduring strength found in resilience and solidarity. The aftermath of the events surrounding Aaliyah unfolds with a profound sense of transformation and renewal, both personally for her and within the community she is part of. Aaliyah, once burdened by silence and invisibility, now stands empowered and embraced by those around her. Her journey from a place of hardship and quiet endurance to one of confidence and self-assertion represents a powerful narrative of resilience and self-discovery. The community's response to Aaliyah's story is both immediate and heartfelt. What began as isolated moments of support grows into a collective embrace, with neighbors, friends, and even strangers rallying around her. This widespread acceptance is not merely symbolic, it serves as a tangible source of strength for Aaliyah. Feeling seen and valued for who she truly is, she finds the courage to envision a future beyond her current circumstances. Her dreams, once distant and overshadowed by the daily grind of waiting tables and the struggle to survive, now feel within reach. This newfound confidence becomes a catalyst for change in her life, inspiring her to pursue ambitions that extend far beyond the walls of the diner where she worked. Derek, the antagonist whose actions had previously cast a shadow over Aaliyah's life, faces consequences that underscore the community's commitment to justice and respect. His behavior, which had contributed to a culture of disrespect and exclusion, is no longer tolerated. The repercussions he encounters serve as a clear message that harmful actions will be addressed and rectified. This accountability marks a significant shift, not only for Derek personally but for the wider environment in which Aaliyah and others live and work. It signals a movement toward greater awareness and responsibility, fostering a safer and more inclusive space for everyone. The diner itself undergoes a remarkable transformation, evolving from a site of struggle and marginalization into a beacon of respect and inclusivity. Once a place where Aaliyah's talents and worth were overlooked, it becomes a symbol of community values that prioritize dignity and acceptance. This shift reflects a broader societal change, where environments that once perpetuated inequality and exclusion are actively reshaped to honor diversity and promote equality. The diner's reinvention symbolizes hope and progress, demonstrating how places can evolve alongside the people they serve. Aaliyah's tattoo, initially a hidden mark of pain and a reminder of her past struggles, undergoes its own powerful transformation. Where once it was something she concealed, burdened by shame or fear, it now stands as a celebrated emblem of her strength and identity. This tattoo, etched into her skin, becomes a visible testament to her journey and resilience. It carries a story of survival and empowerment, turning what was once a source of vulnerability into a symbol of pride and self-acceptance. This shift in perception not only changes how Aaliyah sees herself but also how others perceive her, allowing her to reclaim her narrative on her own terms. The closing of the story is imbued with a sense of hope and renewal that resonates deeply. Aaliyah's transformation, coupled with the changes in her environment and the accountability imposed on Derek, paints a picture of a community moving forward. It is a community learning to listen, to support, and to uplift those who have been marginalized or silenced. The renewed diner stands as a testament to these values, a place where respect and inclusivity are not just ideals but practiced realities. Throughout this resolution, themes of empowerment, justice, identity, and community intertwine seamlessly. Aaliyah's journey embodies the power of personal courage and the importance of support systems in overcoming adversity. The community's role illustrates how collective action can challenge and change entrenched behaviors and attitudes. Derek's accountability emphasizes the necessity of consequences in fostering safe and respectful environments. The diner's transformation serves as a microcosm of societal progress toward inclusivity and acceptance. The story's conclusion does not depict a perfect world but rather a hopeful and ongoing process of growth and change. It acknowledges the complexities of healing and the effort required to build supportive communities. By embracing Aaliyah and celebrating her identity, the community sets a precedent for compassion and justice that can inspire others. Aaliyah herself emerges from the narrative not just as a survivor but as a symbol of hope and renewal. Her journey from silence to empowerment reflects the broader possibilities available to anyone willing to face their past, claim their strength, and envision a brighter future. Her tattoo, once hidden, now shines as a beacon of this transformation, reminding all who see it of the power of resilience and self-acceptance. This resolution affirms that change is possible when individuals and communities come together to confront injustice and embrace diversity. It highlights the importance of creating spaces where everyone can feel respected and valued, regardless of their background or past experiences. The story closes on a note of optimism, encouraging readers or viewers to believe in the capacity for renewal and the enduring strength of the human spirit.